Man, what they do, Sniper Crew? It's your boy Sniper J. We back in this motherfucker. Y'all already know we on the road to 1,500 subs. But for y'all that don't know, we've been keeping up with this Celeste and David trial. And yeah, it's getting crazy. So if you haven't seen the updates, go watch my past videos. But this video is going to be the instrument that they're saying that Celeste was stabbed with has been found, located, recovered. You see what I'm saying? And this could be a big break in the case. So shout out Trap Lord Ross, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. Road to 1,500 subs. Y'all drop a sub, a like, and a comment, man.
Folks, it's been a minute since we had a good old-fashioned paperwork party, and now it looks like some David paperwork has finally dropped, and we're gonna get to it, okay? In this case, we're not looking for no snitches, we're not looking for no rats, we're looking for murderers, and we're looking for the murder weapon, because reportedly, they're now saying that apparently this sharp instrument that was used to kill Celeste might have actually even been recovered, and David's cooked. David's cooked. It's just a case of what utensils are we going to be cooking him with now, okay? Is it the sharp instrument? Maybe the barbecue pitchfork? Maybe the spatula? We got a whole bunch, we got options when it comes to cooking this clown, okay? So let's get into the paperwork, and I'm going to break down everything that is going on with this situation that basically... We didn't have this before, all right? We've been waiting for this. I'm delighted. I'm not going to lie. I'm delighted to be seeing this.
Me too, Trap.
So we now have the felony complaint filed in the Superior Court of California against David, and it's got a lot more details on his charges. You know, there's not a great depth of detail in this, but it does provide sort of a very basic timeline of events, and it gives just a little bit more information, just teases us with a little bit more information. As you can see, is the people of the state of California versus David Anthony Burke.
Yes, sir.
Soon to be David Anthony Cooked. So basically it says on or...
It's about to be David Anthony burnt. They need to go ahead and get his ass sent up the road, lock him up, throw him in there like the one dude in the comments said, throw him to the lions and let him fade. You know what I'm saying? You want to do weirdo shit, you need to go and pay for your crimes.
About April 23rd, 2025, in the county of Los Angeles, the crime of murder was committed by David, who unlawfully, with malice aforethought, murdered Celeste, a human being. Let's not forget, this is a human being. This isn't a bag in the trunk of a Tesla. This isn't a joke. This isn't GTA. This is a real human being, a 14-year-old that got murdered by this absolute clown. And what's interesting about this is on or about April 23rd. So obviously we're hearing about this April 23rd date. It looks like he's having his first court date on April 23rd now. And it is believed that not only did he kill her on April 23rd, but it took place in Los Angeles. So we sort of knew these things, but it's putting it in black and white paper. And basically, what's really interesting is, you know, it's got the charges. And can you imagine David reading this? Because it's got the charge and it's got the notice. It's saying, you've been charged with murder. Notice, this is a serious felony. And notice, prison custody time is to be served on the classification of this felony being so serious. And... this could be, well, there's going to be another felony that's going to require sex offender registration. So David, even if he ain't going to beat this, but if he beats this, if he takes the years to the chin and gets out eventually, he's going to be on that register forever. Anyway, it basically alleges that Celeste's murder was intentional, carried out by David for financial gain, right? So that's not only did he murder her in a fit of passion, but he actually did it to protect his career. It's further alleged that Celeste was a witness to a crime and was intentionally killed because of that fact. Because they were apparently investigating David for his relationship with the minor and she was already a witness of that crime, this is just making the crime even more serious. You killed a witness. You killed a witness to an investigation as to whether you were a PDF. That's no good. That's no good, buddy. Okay? So it's further alleged that the murder of Celeste was committed by David and he intentionally killed the victim by means of lying in wait. And what I'm hearing is that he actually invited her to his crib. There's a rumor going around on Reddit that basically what is going on is that David was threatened by Celeste to be exposed as a PDF file. And he basically said, okay, bet, come to the crib. I don't know if he said, oh, it's all good, we squashed the beef, come over. But he invited her to the crib under false pretenses, allegedly, knowing that he would murder her. And he was lying in wait with his little knife or whatever it was he used to kill her. And then invited her over, lured her into a trap, lying in wait, even more cooked than we thought.
Yeah,
so
he's fucked.
It's also believed, now this is where we start to get to see stuff that we hadn't seen in the months prior. It's further alleged that in the commission and attempted commission of the above offence, we said the said defendants, David Anthony Burke, personally used a deadly or dangerous weapon to wit a sharp instrument, said use not being an element of the offence above, within the meaning of penal code, causing the above to be a serious felony. So basically it's saying a sharp instrument... Pop was in. A sharp instrument was basically used. Sounds like a knife, could be something else, and that makes it even more serious. He wasn't shooting. It wasn't shooting someone from across the street. Oh shit! I shot him by accident. He got busy with the knife like the UK drillers. Okay, he actually got up close and personal with a sharp instrument, making this an even more heinous and egregious crime. That it's just shocking that he would even have it in him to go and do that to somebody.
Yeah, literally.
So
sick.
We got that. All right, and so this is where we start to get a little bit more information. Again, some of you might have already known this, okay? I'm a mess. I've just rolled out of bed today. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually feel absolutely frazzled today. Anyway, so this actually says on or between September the 7th, 2023 and September the 7th, 2024. And bear in mind, this is her birthday, okay? In the LA County, the crime of continuous sexual abuse was committed by David Anthony Burke. He unlawfully engaged in 3 and more acts of substantial sexual conduct, 3 or more lewd and lascivious acts with a child under the age of 14 years old. Absolutely cooked. Okay, absolutely cooked. Serious felony. He will be required to register on the sex offenders register. He will be, if he's convicted of this, he will be subjected to court order AIDS blood tests. That's just how serious the crime that you've committed is, that we've got to monitor your blood because you're such a fucking danger to the community that we now have to court order monitor your blood because you're such a disgusting piece of shit and we can't have you subjecting your disgusting DNA to anyone else. That's how serious this is. And then it says on or about May the 5th. So this is very, very interesting, and I don't think I've seen people pick up on this. They think that the date that the mutilation of the remains happened was on May the 5th, 2025. On May the 5th, in the county of Los Angeles, the crime of unlawful mutilation of human remains in violation of the Health and Safety Code, Section 7052. I bet David wasn't even thinking about that Health and Safety Code when he was allegedly slicing up this body, all right? He unlawfully and willfully mutilated the remains known to be human, the remains of Celeste. Now, this is really interesting, because the rumor is that he killed her on April the 25th. Apparently, he didn't try and mutilate the body until May the 5th. So it was a couple of weeks. That's dark. That's super, super messed up.
He's probably sleeping with the dead body. His weird
basically, this is the felony complaint, all right? It's formal. He's cooked. He's eligible for a 187, so that's a homicide. He's eligible for life without parole or death at the state prison. So he's got life without parole and death on the table 3 times, plus 1 year in the state prison. And then over here, for the other charges that he's got, he's potentially facing 6 to 12 to 16 in the state prison, or 6 2 to 1. He's cooked. He's cooked. He might be getting the death penalty. So all of this has been reported on now, this paperwork that I've got for you here. This is up in TMZ. Prosecutors say David killed her with a sharp instrument, so we're now getting the news of these charging documents. What's really interesting is it says he mutilated the body on May the 5th. Interesting about those dates, authorities said that David took a mysterious trip to Santa Barbara, and that could align with the May 5th date. And the DA claims that the dismembered and decomposing body was left in the Tesla for 4 months. Okay? So they basically are seemingly saying that they can prove that he was having sexual relations with her between September the 7th, when that was her 13th birthday. So he linked up with her when she turned 13 from 12. He said, let me wait till you're 13. Despicable.
Man, sick.
And it's saying that relationship continued for a year when she then turned 14. Now, she lost her life before she turned 15. And it basically says, it's not to say the DA isn't saying that the sexual activity ended then, but I'm guessing that's when they can prove that this was going on. And now we've got the 4K high-resolution mugshot, so I'm going to be updating the thumbnails so that we can see David sweating. He's looking like he's sweating. He's got a little sheen on him. He's looking stressed. Okay, I didn't even know they had these. They must have taken this with a seriously high-quality camera. Thank God for that. But so basically, what's really interesting, right? Everybody is now speculating that this sharp instrument was a knife, and David was flexing a knife many times.
Knives on Twitch, but
we saw him flexing knives.
Bro, look at this knife I got, bro.
Can I hear this?
Crow on me. I don't even know if you're allowed to show knives on Twitch, but bro, look at this knife I got, bro. Chromium, chromacopia, chromacopia. Oh, you said don't show it? You can't? I can't? Are you for real? You lying! You lying! You lying! You lying!
Well, it's a good thing that David likes knives, because I think he might be running into a few interesting makeshift knives in the county. Okay,
Yeah.
I got a knife too, David. It's all right. It's good. I ain't going to use it to murder a minor. But
I don't got a knife, David. You come around here, I got some lead for you, on God.
I might be running into a few makeshift knives and shanks and toothbrushes when he touches down in the county, and I'll be talking to you about that in the next video. But people are saying, could this be part of the sadistic stuff the PI uncovered at his house? This was 6 months ago. What was David doing with an OTF knife? OTF? He locked in with OTF like Dirk and them? This is crazy.
Stop.
Okay, and now they're updating this. The same prosecutors say Celeste died by a sharp instrument. It's crazy. So Steve Fisher would share images of David with the knife apparently after New Year's on 2025. And it seems to be the same knife. There it is. Okay, could that be the murder weapon? I wonder if David had other knives, other sharp instruments, but he appeared to have a little bit of an interest in this knife. He had a little obsession with this knife. So that's really, really interesting. And now everybody is sort of going back and digging in to basically a lot of posts that David made on the day of the alleged murder. Now, I think I could do that. I could do that in another video. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. No, let's do it. Let's do it in this video. So there's some TikToks that David made on the day of the alleged murder. Okay, and what's really interesting is that in this one, this is the first TikTok David posted on the day of the murder. Right? Oh no! We're not letting this guy get another cent. So he put this out on the day of the murder, and a lot of people have pointed out that's Celeste's handbag in the corner. So she pulled up. Was this before, after, or during the commission of this heinous crime? Now, what's really interesting, if you watch this clip, he's celebrating. My album drops tomorrow. Yay. Your prayers have been answered. What was that, though? What was that? Hang on. Is that something, a little scar on his hand, maybe? People are saying that there's a notable mark on his hand, and it could be a common injury that people get when they're stabbing people. It's not easy to stick a knife. It's not easy to stick that inside somebody.
Whoa,
right?
I ain't even peeped that.
Leverage. You've got to get leverage. You might have to get the leverage in your palm and get it in there. You might catch a little injury. You might get caught by this little pointy bit on the end of the knife if you got one of those, okay? Now, look, I'm a real South London knife man like that, so, you know, you might spot some of these things. Looks like there's a little mark on his hand. Let me zoom in for you guys, just so we can see the evidence, all right? Has he carved a little cross into his hand? Is that an injury? Is that a bruise? It's his right hand, or is that his left hand? That could be his left hand, actually, because this is backwards. Anyway, interesting, right? What's going on with him? What's going on with that? And he's doing all this on the day of the murder. Insanity. What is wrong with this guy? He's gonna be doing that pose quite a lot in the county for sure. That one, he's county ready, LA County Jail ready with that one. But
not for real.
You know, there's more clips of him sort of allegedly on the day of the murder, the days following it, on TikTok doing his thing. My album is out. Let's go. Let's go. The album's out. See, this is a bit closer. I don't know if this is carved in or if this is a tattoo. A cross is a bit weird. All right? Is that a cross? Is that a funeral? Is that headstone kind of vibe? Is it a mark on his hand that he's kind of drawn around? Because that little bit in the middle,
it's dark.
I'm not gonna lie, that bit in the middle looks like you was holding a knife with it, the leverage in your palm, with a little leverage in your palm like that, and it hurt, and you got a red mark in the middle of your hand from the knife, and then you drew or you etched a little cross around it to try and make it look cool, try and cover up. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Wouldn't be surprised. Creepy, all right? This guy is a weirdo. And there's more examples. All of this around these days. Okay. Look at him go. Saying, was Afterlife a good outro for the album? I don't know. I really love it, though. And again, we're seeing all this shit on his hand. He's showing that off. He's showing that off. This is just my opinion, but I think he got an injury from the stabbing and then he tried to cover it up and make it look like some cool little thing.
I think so too.
Honestly, that's what I think he was doing. This guy's tapped, okay? So 2 days later, his Withered album is released. And again, withered, talking about withered, what, withered like a decaying corpse? And this song, Afterlife, was included. And this is the song that he broke down crying. And I read the lyrics of this the other day. Now, this song, I believe, was recorded, or at least versions of it were shown before the Celeste murder took place. But these lyrics are dark. And for this to come out within a few days of the alleged murder is chilling. It said, something's missing from inside of me. Someone stole what wasn't mine. The devil told me you were good for me. My mother told me he would lie. What doesn't kill you waits for later. What tries to keep you alive fails. I thought a girl would make me happy, but real love is not for sale. So I'll buy what I can as I try to pretend something else is making me cry when you cross the line. I'm still by your side. I crossed it with you. What, like the cross on your hand? And when I die, you're holding the knife. Is he talking from Celeste's? Is he talking from Celeste's perspective? Whoa. I'll love you from the afterlife. From the afterlife. What good is walking on water with a sinking feeling? What good is a kiss without meaning? It won't stop me from bleeding. Is he talking about his hand? What good is walking on water with a sinking feeling? I think he's saying with this one, it's like, what good is being a millionaire celebrity with billions of streams if I am walking around with a sinking feeling because I know I've committed murder? That's what I think he's saying. But anyway, the album would include the voice recorded conversations with Celeste. This is going to cook him. I wonder what the prosecutors are going to say. But when that Withered album came out, David couldn't disclose he used the voicemail recordings for obvious reasons, but these were allegedly voicemails of Celeste that were included.
I'm so stupid right now, but like I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting like everything. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I tried.
So the thing is, it gives a motive too, because she's talking about how sorry she is. What did she do? What did she do to him to make him fly off the handle?
You're special, David. I got a question.
What's the question?
Why don't you hold my hands anymore?
Oh, here we go again, bro.
Nah, I'm so serious.
Bro,
I'm so serious. Like,
all right, continue.
I haven't held your hand. Shoot.
Sorry.
Like, you're not funny. I swear you're not funny.
I'm done.
Let me think.
But so the timing.
It could have been yesterday. It could have been yesterday.
Wow, yeah. I'm glad you remember that. I'm
Period.
Glad. Ew, I hate when you say period, man. All right. I got a question for you now.
Okay.
Why do you think we met? Yeah. Why do you think we met?
Well, I think personally, have you ever heard of the invisible strength theory?
Oh yeah.
Exactly that. So basically, we met because we were supposed to meet.
Okay.
And we're connected because we're supposed to be connected. It's kind of like that. I loved you before I existed, and I love you even when I die.
Word.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's weird. It's strange. It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So don't leave me.
No, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. I love you. I love you. You're the one calling my phone.
You've been dead.
Sounds like he's saying you've been dead. What?
You're the one calling my phone.
You've been dead.
Calling me. Please.
Saying you've been dead.
Been dead.
Why are you calling? Why are you calling me? Say sorry. I didn't want to go and change the narrative and say something completely different. You gotta figure whatever you got going on. Figure that out.
Silence.
Baby.
Creepy as hell.
What
So this says
the
David's
fuck?
deleted SoundCloud had first versions of the track that weren't fully released before his Withered album, and without any changes or tweaks in the songs, you can clearly hear Celeste's voice. Despite this, he didn't say or try to disclose who the person was for obvious reasons, and not because of some copyright excuse. Because if you remember, I did a previous video where he's in an interview and they say, "Oh, who's the voice?" And he says, "I can't tell you for copyright reasons." And he pulls a mad weird face. As the songs share similar file types, suggesting he recorded these voicemails between early October 2024 and late November 2024, when he and Celeste were going through a heartbreak for a breakup. This was also during the time he was actively making and shaping songs for his album. I wonder if they broke up in September 2024, and she was out of his life for a bit, then she came back around, she was pictured with him in December and January, and then maybe, you know, she was threatening him, saying, I'm going to reveal what's going on, and he said, all right, come up, pull up. It says David most likely used her in multiple situations that caused her to be hurt and mistreated, because in these songs Celeste was blaming herself for the wrongdoings and David was truly manipulating her emotions. So people are saying, I think Celeste figured him out. She began to see what he really was. Then she felt she had to get away. He told her in the live feed, I media trained you. She did not seem to like the statement he made to her. And as he knew he was in trouble with that live feed with the R-ing kids statement, she knew, and I feel she had to leave a clue. Someone had to hear and suspect there was something not right with the panic to delete all the VODs. At that point, he made a decision. But thankfully, those files are still available. A digital footprint is forever locked in his devices.
Thank God.
How stupid and sick is this kid to immortalize her voice in his songs when if someone from her family comes forward with an audio recording of her voice, they can prove it's her and her record label. How can they allow this? There should be a lawsuit against them for unauthorized use. The family might be getting some money out of that. Okay. I think it's really interesting, that voicemail where she's literally telling him to leave her alone. And in that song, you can hear her say, you keep getting new phones and calling me. And then she says, you got to figure out whatever's going on with you. Could be speculation, but it sounds like he might have done something that really scared her. People saying, I 100% agree. She was afraid. And when he knew she was not having any part of his fetish lifestyle, she wanted to remove herself. She could have been at the second house and he was at the Beverly Hills mansion. He knew he had to act. He was losing her, then possibly late in the night. Just my opinion. Okay. So less than a week after the alleged incident on April 27th, 2025, that's when David was actually discussing these snippets that were used in his song Invisible String Theory. Again,
Connected. I want everything to feel holistic and have a through line that everybody could understand. And with the interlude, it's kind of explaining from my perspective how it was taught to me, because that's a real conversation that happened. And the irony of it was that person that was saying, I love you, she's not in my life anymore. So it's like people say that the string...
This interview was posted on April 25th, 2025. Days after.
Can't be cut and the connection cannot be severed. But I feel like it can sometimes. And that's why I wanted to put, Afterlife and all these songs that feel like endings and conclusions and goodbyes on the project to kind of solidify.
To solidify what? That you got her out of here? It's creepy, right? Fake intellect. And there's another interview from around the same time when he was just acting super creepy, okay? Remember this? People have resurfaced this one. He apparently said it's so beautiful to take someone's life and put it in a song.
It was just the most beautiful thing. And it's such a poetic thing to kind of be able to kind of take somebody's life and put that in a song and then have...
Creepy.
What?
Right? Creepy. It says he was smirking because he actually seems to enjoy throwing breadcrumbs. I'm telling you, he wanted to be caught. In fact, he seemed to get frustrated at times that people were not picking up on what he was obviously throwing out. But other people are saying he thought he wouldn't. I guarantee you, he thought manipulating and killing an innocent child made him Hannibal Lecter out here. He was getting off on being in the wild. I hope he never rests again knowing the whole world sees him now. People saying exactly this. I don't know what his plans were, whether he knew he'd get caught eventually or thought he was smart enough to get away with it, but I just feel like his arrogance is undeniable through all of it, even taking it back to his messages, alluding and mocking his relationship with someone that young. None of it was of any concern to him. I watch true crime on true crime every day. I've heard it all, but this case makes me physically ill because of his behavior and reaction to it all. I've never felt such hatred to a case like this. He groomed that little girl who was in a fragile state. He isolated her, then he took her life and went on stage to perform to his young fans. Horrific. Okay, this is the same thing I've been saying. He wanted to be known for this all along with the other infamous killers. I just feel like he was too sloppy to try and be hiding it, and everything else lines up just right. Okay, and that same interview he talks about being stabbed 9 times.
Huh?
Was it this one? And he said, I got all of them done at the same time. I guess tattoos. I thugged it out, dude. It was like getting stabbed 9 times. Well, because you quite literally got stabbed 9 times. But yeah, in that moment, he's talking about tattoos, I think. But anyway, he's talking about facial piercings. When was this film? May 9th, not long after they alleged she was killed and cut up. Just a few days after allegedly dismembering her remains. He's going to love it when some fuck-ass Hollywood exec picks his story to be made into a movie in the future. Real psychopath. I don't for one minute believe that Celeste was his first murder. There might have been other victims. People say, I don't know about that. He botched this one so badly, it's hard for me to even see him as a seasoned killer. People say, not defending him, but he clearly stated before he would write songs about other people's experiences with love and stuff. He meant he literally takes someone's life, shit they went through, and put it in his music. 2 things can be true at once. That's what people are saying. But look, okay, this is crazy. So they've got... They believe they know what the murder weapon is. I wonder if they found that knife. He's cooked regardless. But I think the knife was used, and I think that was an injury on his hand. That's just my opinion, okay?
I agree with Trap, bro. And if y'all don't, I mean, tell me in the comments why you don't. Tell me in the comments why you do. But if you ask me, David's fried fish. He's done. That sick weirdo is getting sent up the road to sit in his jail cell and protect his booty, be a booty hole bandit like the rest of the weirdos in the jail. the rest of the PDFs. And I think that's exactly what he deserved too, because he's a fucking weirdo. But a lot of people get mad at you for wishing jail on somebody, but do we really want to wish mercy on someone who SA'd a kid, kidnapped a kid, mutilated a kid, murdered a kid? Like, come on, bro. Like, there has to be a point where we draw a line, bro. There has to be a point where we draw a line. But y'all let me know. Y'all let me know, cause I'm curious to see where y'all head at. So, y'all know what I'm saying? We on the road to 1,500 subs, man. Y'all like, comment, share, and drop a motherfucking sub if you haven't yet. We on the road, man. We out of here, you know what I'm saying? It's your boy, Snipe.